female living in Arizona, a place known for paranormal encounters, extraterrestrial experiences, and all manner of weird hoodoo type shit. Now, admittedly, I love the paranormal, and I've had a few minor experiences up to this point in my life, but what I experienced just an hour ago takes the cake. If you've ever been to the Southwest, you know one thing about the nights. They're dark. Pitch black, usually. Anyway, so it's about 11:30 at night, and I've dropped off my friend at his house that's in the middle of nowhere after a day of hanging out, playing games, and watching one of my favorite horror flicks. I guess I was a touch on edge, and the fact that it had rained all day and the sky was still shrouded by dark clouds that were blocking out any and all natural moonlight from helping me to see was kind of eerie. The lights on my truck are not the strongest, and so with so little light and a slippery road, you've got to be aware of everything, just to be safe. So I'm driving down a fairly well-lit but deserted stretch of road a few miles down to start heading back to civilization. All of a sudden, this chill, not really a chill, but a sensation of nope just licks at the back of my neck. And I'm coming up on this odd blue light that's hitting the street in front of me, which is already slightly jarring, given the sickly yellow color of the other streetlights around it. The second I pass under this blue light, it goes out. At this point, I'm getting a little nervous because this is already a bit too much for my already freaked out self. It doesn't get any better from here either. Finally, I reach the highway, and I have an option to turn onto a back road that's under a ton of construction, or go down the highway and get home from there. Naturally, abandoned back road with heavy construction loses, and I turn onto the highway. About this time, a smaller truck that's behind me really starts flooring it, like climbing up my bumper as I'm headed towards home. Now, people drive like this in Arizona. They constantly want to go like 30 above the speed limit, and if not that, then getting up so far up your ass that you'd think they were a thong. So it wasn't particularly abnormal at first. Basically, I'm driving down the highway and I see my turnoff coming up. So I signal, and the second I do, this dude behind me in the truck does too. No big deal. Next turnoff comes up, this one's to the left, and wouldn't you believe it? Truck guy does the same after a second or two. Again, not too freaky, but then I merge into the far right lane once I make the turn. And so does truck guy. At this point, it's getting weird, but I haven't given up hope. So I continue past the main entrance of a strip mall that's near my house. And the second I signal to turn again, and then merge into the far lane once more, truck guy does the same, staying very close to my tail, and always signaling just a moment after me. At this point, all my memories of hearing people saying that they were followed kicks in, and I'm trying to think about how I can ensure that I don't leave this creep right to my front door. And it hits me. Make 3 consecutive turns in the same direction. If they're following you, you'll know, because 3 turns lead you back in a circle. So I think, there's a back entrance to the mall. I'll pretend to turn in there. So, I turn towards the mall, stopping at the right turn lane, and the truck guy whizzes past me. I take a sigh of relief, and I go back up the road towards my house. I am determined to get this guy's plates now, just in case. And I did, too. THB 8475. I repeated these numbers in my head over and over, out loud, in the silence of the cab of my truck. This time, luckily, I was the one following, and it made me feel safer, more in control. So I watch truck guy turn onto the street, and once I see he's gone, I drive past and double check in my rear view that this guy isn't back behind me again. Luckily, I don't see him. But right now, I'm really starting to get the creeps. I'm only about a mile or 2 from my house, and everything is starting to come to a calm. I make it home, and I'm looking around before I hop out of my truck, and I hold my keys close, my finger on the panic button. For those of you who don't know, the panic button on a car's fob can be crazy handy. Keep those keys in your hand when walking alone on a dark street or in a dark place. If someone gets close to you that you don't know, hold that button down and an alarm will blare, and every set of eyes in the area will be on you in a matter of minutes. You can bet whoever's trying to get close won't stick around with all the witnesses peeking out to see what the racket is. Well, finally, I get inside, and I realize as I'm getting to my bedroom that I forgot to take the trash cans out to the curb. So it's midnight now, and here I am dragging a set of cans down my driveway in the pitch dark. And something doesn't feel right. It's so quiet. There's no crickets, no birds, not even bats are flying around. And then, as I'm glancing around suspiciously, trying to see if there's anything in the darkness, I spot it. Near the open desert at the end of my street, a tall, pale man is standing just outside the glow of my neighbor's garage lights. There were no discernible features, just a tall, pale, lanky form. And at this point, I've seen enough to sprint back into the house like crazy as my dog starts barking. I watched the garage door closed and then ran right to my room. I got a real sword I've brought at the comic con near my city, right next to my bed. I am not taking any more chances with the creepy shit tonight.